Rotary has a special place in my heart because I received a $1,000 scholarship to go to college from the Rotary that I lived in when I lived in New York. And if I didn't get that money, I would not have made it through law school. And I ended up attending Cornell Law School, and I'm very proud of that. So give yourselves a hand. It really makes a difference, and it made a difference to me. I want to talk about 3 things today, because I want to make this as interesting as possible for you. I want to talk about awareness. I want to talk about embracing adversity. And I want to talk about purpose. Awareness, it's interesting. I wrote a book called Decide Success. 12 action steps to achieve the success you truly desire. And number 8 is increase your level of awareness. And that's the toughest one to teach. And I think a lot of you agree with me. When you bring in a new employee, it's tough to teach them awareness. You can teach them hard work, you can teach them preparation, you can teach them preparedness. And I'll give you an example of awareness. Who here has ever been in a manufacturing facility? Inside a manufacturing facility? There are signs there that say safety is the #1 priority, right? They talk about safety. Safety, #1 priority. Well, does that really change the action of any person? Do you think someone said, I'm about to do something stupid, but oh, look at that sign that says safety is #1 priority. I'm not going to do something stupid and hurt myself. No. Or does someone say, I've got a week to go before I get my flashlight for a year without an accident. I was going to do something careless, but I'm not going to do it now because I get this flashlight. No. That's awareness. And what I consider awareness is continually questioning what is and seeing beyond what's apparent. Continually questioning what is and seeing beyond what's apparent. And any great innovator, any great business person, any great entrepreneur has to do that. They continually question what is, and that's how they come up with new ideas, by seeing beyond what's apparent. So that's one way to increase awareness. There's another way. You heard the introduction. What was not in the introduction? I've had Parkinson's disease for 15 years. Let me say that again. I've had Parkinson's disease for 15 years. Just look at me. You wouldn't know it. That's another way to increase awareness. In the movie Overboard, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn loses her memory and Kurt Russell pretends that she's his wife so that she can pay off tools that she threw overboard. Does everyone remember the movie? Okay. Roddy McDowall was famous for Planet of the Apes, chose to take the role of the butler. Now I said to myself, I continually question what is, why would he take that role? He's a famous actor. He could take any role he wants. Why did he take that role? And I thought about that. And then I heard him say one line. And I think the reason that he took the part was this one line. She had come back to the boat, her yacht, realizing that she was wealthy. She thought she was poor. And she said to him, I'm so sorry the way I acted. And he said to her, Madam, we're all born with blinders on. You've had the unique opportunity of having yours removed for a short period of time. What you do with that information is entirely up to you. I've had my blinders removed. I have Parkinson's disease. At 41 years old, I walked into a doctor's office, filled out the paperwork, handed it to the doctor. The doctor said, you have Parkinson's disease. I said, slow down, time out. You haven't looked up my nose, you haven't taken a urine sample, you haven't hit me in the knee with a hammer, you haven't done any of those things. How do you know I have Parkinson's disease? She said, you've got all the symptoms. Your face shows no expression. You don't blink. When you walk, your arm doesn't swing, which was kind of weird. Your hand tremors and your handwriting is illegible. I said, well, I want a second opinion. She said, well, the only confirmatory test is an autopsy. I chose not to have an autopsy. But I saw white light for the rest of the day. I was like in slow motion. I had my blinders removed. I saw things from a different perspective. I had an incurable, progressive, neurologic, degenerative disease. Life-changing events, challenges, adversities. Everyone has them. We were talking about this at dinner last night. Everyone has them. Whether it be losing a job, or losing a loved one, or a divorce, or becoming a caregiver, everyone has them. It's how you react to them. It's how you deal with them. It's how you handle them that defines you as a person. What did I do? I hit rock bottom about 10 years into my Parkinson's. My symptoms were all there. I was tremoring. I was sleeping a lot. I was not engaging with my family. And I made a decision. I made the decision one day to clean up my act. And I turned to exercise and nutrition. And I met my wife about a month later, and that was preordained, I think. And she was an exercise and nutrition enthusiast, call it. And she got me to exercise, and I lost 45 pounds, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And my cholesterol went from 180 to 100, and I'm asymptomatic. Now, do you have to get Parkinson's to do that? Think about that. Do you have to get Parkinson's to do that? No. Do you have to have a heart attack to stop eating fatty food? No. Do you have to have lung cancer to stop smoking cigarettes? No. You can make the decision today, right now, to clean up your act. And I started eating healthy food. I started exercising. And I didn't start going crazy. I started on the treadmill. And then I moved to the elliptical. And then I moved to the spin bike. Then I did interval training on the spin bike. Then I did boxing fitness. Then I did kettlebell training. Then I did hot yoga. And now I box. And we also do, if you've ever seen Sean T. Late night television, Insanity. We do Insanity. I remember the first time I saw my wife doing this, I was just like, what is she doing? She's jumping over imaginary logs, and she's doing the Heisman maneuver. And I just started doing it. And I did it, and I didn't do it well, and I started doing it. I kept doing it, and that's what I did. The daily 5, and there may be more than 5 in here, so I can't count. Engaged. Stay engaged. Stay engaged. And by coming to a Rotary Club, even if you're retired, you're doing that. You're staying engaged. That's great. Do mental exercises, do physical exercise, whatever, but stay in contact with people. Stay engaged. Posispective, it's a word I made up. Positive perspective. Keep your positive perspective. I'll tell you a story about positive perspective. When I was 10 years old, I built a fort in my backyard. And I had my best friend in the fort, and only 2 people could fit. And my 8-year-old brother, I told him, you can't come in. And he wasn't real happy about it. So I went and picked up a rock and hit me over the head with a rock. And there was blood everywhere. He was pretty good at hitting me over the head. So we went in to see my mom, and she's flipping out because there's blood everywhere. And we go to the hospital, and I get 10 stitches. He tells the story it's 2, but it was 10. I tell you it was 10. I get home that night, and normal bedtime comes, and my younger brother goes to bed earlier than us. That's fine. And then I get told I'm not going to bed. And then my oldest sister, had to go to bed. I like that. Because they had to keep me up to make sure I didn't have a concussion. And around 9 o'clock, they brought out ice cream. Not as good as Toff's, but they brought out ice cream. And I had ice cream. And I said to them, this is the luckiest day of my life. I was hit on the head with a rock. 10 stitches. But it was the luckiest day of my life. That's positive perspective. I consider food to now be fuel. It fuels my engine so that I can burn it when I exercise. That's the way I look at food. And that's why I eat healthy, because I want to put 92 octane into my tank instead of 87 octane. And that's the way I look at food. And I still eat great. I went to Zinc something last night, and I had the bouillabaisse, and it was unbelievable. But I can still eat seafood and stuff like that, but I just don't eat meat. And purpose. Uncover your purpose. I say uncover very specifically because it's there. You just need to uncover it. I used to think my purpose was to create jobs for the company I worked for. I worked for a company that had 6 steel processing plants, and I was the top lawyer, and we had about 900 employees. When I left 12 years later, we had 1,500 employees, and our accident rate was down from 300 a year to 62, and we had no more harassment complaints. And I felt like that was my purpose. My purpose was to give people jobs so that they could put food on their table and a roof over their heads. And that's a noble purpose. And those of you out there that have started your own businesses, have hired people, congratulations. Feel good about that. You've supported someone else's family. That's wonderful. It turned out to not be my purpose. I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and I worked for 6 more years, but then I decided I could not do it anymore. I was too fatigued. And I stopped to write my book and to become an inspirational speaker and go anywhere people want to hear me speak. So that's what I've been doing since. And it's been very purposeful. I went to in southern Indiana, I went to a women's conference on Parkinson's, and there were 30 women in a hotel room, and me. It's not what I imagined it to be, but I started out, and then I said to them, let's do this like a workshop. So I asked the first woman, tell me about yourself. She said, I've had Parkinson's for 12 years, and these are my symptoms. The second one said, I've had Parkinson's for 10 years, here's my symptoms. The third one said, I've had Parkinson's for 8 years. I said, time out, stop. You are not Parkinson's. You have Parkinson's. Parkinson's does not have you. Tell me what you are. And the first one said, well, I'm an architect, and I build buildings. And if you look at the Indianapolis skyline, there's a building that I designed. And she brightened up, and her eyes were lit. And the second one said, well, I grow prize-winning organic tomatoes. And the third one went on from there. And it was like a cloud lifted, and the sun shone through. Don't identify with whatever adversity comes your way. You still are the same person you were. You still have the same qualities and still have the same soul. When life-changing adversity comes your way, you can give up, you can get back up, you can live well, you can live an amazing life. I'm choosing to live an amazing life. And you got to believe in yourself. Whatever the circumstances, you got to believe in yourself. Whatever life-changing adversity comes your way, you got to believe in yourself. What if Michael J. Fox didn't get Parkinson's? Would he have raised hundreds of millions of dollars for Parkinson's research? I don't think so. What if I didn't get Parkinson's? Would I have written my book? No. Would I be behind a desk somewhere reading contracts or doing something? Yes, instead of here, hopefully giving some inspiration to you. Find your purpose. Uncover your purpose. And when you find your purpose, you'll find your joy. I'm an inspirational speaker, WJSHTHP, who just so happens to have Parkinson's. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for his inspiration we hope to use today and for the rest of our lives. And here's a Covenant Rotary mug for you, and we'll also be donating a book in your name to one of the local schools.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.